Welcome to Win the Day from Back to the Bible. I'm your coach, Pastor Nat, and today we're going to talk about God's protection. When I was a baby, my father was carrying me on an icy path. Winters here in Nebraska can be very cold and often icy. Careful maneuvering is necessary when this happens, especially when carrying precious cargo. Well, my dad tells me that during this walk, he lost his footing and slipped on the ice. As he was going down, he quickly turned himself, taking the fall and protecting me from injury. I am very thankful for his protection that day. Well, did you know that God is our protector? God is like a mother hen who shields her young from threats and elements. We can find one example of God's care in Ruth chapter 2, beginning in verse 11. For Boaz answered her, "All that you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband has been fully told to me, and how you left your father and mother and your native land and came to a people that you did not know before. The Lord repay you for what you have done, and a full reward be given you by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge." Then she said, "I have found favor in your eyes, my Lord, for you have comforted me and spoken kindly to your servant, though I am not one of your servants." In the previous few verses, Ruth has been blessed by Boaz. Boaz is the owner of this field that she's benefited from. Boaz is her mother-in-law's relative. He knows who Naomi is. He knows who Ruth is. And Boaz is a nobleman with great means. So he tells Ruth, "I will bless you in protection and provision." She falls down to worship him and asks why. Well, in verses 11 through 12, he provides the answer. He, like the rest of the town, has heard of Naomi and the kindness of Ruth. But his recognition isn't the real reason for his kindness. The real reason is found in verse 12. He says, "The Lord repay you for what you have done, and a full reward is given you by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge." The kindness and loyalty of this Moabite widow are selfless and compassionate. God sees all. So Boaz is moved to pray a prayer of blessing. He prays for God to repay Ruth for her actions. Not just a repayment, but a full reward from God. And then an intimate picture of blessing from God. Boaz illustrates this in the picture of a mother bird who protects her chicks under her wings. This is what happens to every person who comes to God. Today, through the works of Jesus Christ, we become God's children who are provided protection and provision. Without God, we are vulnerable and needy. Ruth left her country and impotent gods to serve her mother-in-law in the shadow of Yahweh. This inclusive blessing of Boaz is felt and received by Ruth. She recognizes this in verse 13. Today, every person can have a Ruth and Boaz experience through Jesus Christ. Have you? Have you received the gift of salvation and inclusion into the family of God? If not, turn from your sin and turn to Jesus right now. In no one and in nothing else can salvation be found. If you have received this gift, do you still recognize the blessing and gift of God? If not, you should. Today, God is still that protector who has us under His wing. Our challenge is to stay there and rest in His grace and protection. I am staying near our protector and our provider. How about you?